The One Piece anime features a ton of amazing music, but in my opinion, there is one piece that stands out from the rest. This remarkable soundtrack appears as early as the second episode of this 20+ years long-running anime and continues to accentuate some of the most iconic moments in the One Piece story. But can you play the whole thing on one single guitar? And how easy can you make it without losing the musical spirit that makes it so special? Well, today we're gonna find out. Most likely written by anime composer legend Shiro Hamaguchi, this is difficult, but easy. Whenever we make an arrangement, we need to figure out which elements are crucial for the piece and which ones we could remove if necessary. Difficult is a composition for orchestra, including string instruments, wind instruments, percussion, as well as an organ. Since the guitar only has 6 strings and we like to keep things easy around here, we'll probably have to remove quite a few elements. Secondly, we need to know which genre this music belongs to. I would categorize this piece as a modern approach to both the classical and Baroque periods, probably leaning more on the Baroque side of things. The reason why this is important is counterpoint. Counterpoint was one of the crucial elements of the art music in the Baroque period and basically means that there are multiple melodies at play which stand on their own but also interact with each other in specific ways. During sections where this is clearly occurring, we need to find a way to keep at least 2 melodies at play, even if we have to simplify them a bit. Otherwise, we'd lose some musical integrity, or to put it in other words, it wouldn't sound good. Aside from that, we'll follow our usual formula of retaining the main melody, the bass, as well as some chords in between them whenever possible, so that we can hear the beautiful harmonies of this dramatic composition. Let's dive in. First off, we'll change the key from C minor to D minor, as C minor is just not a good key for guitar because we can't really make use of open strings. We'll notate it in C minor first though, and then move to D minor as well as tune down our 6th string to D. Easy. During the intro of this piece, the organ plays some very fast descending runs. We cannot play these on guitar without losing the chords from before, nor could we call it easy by any stretch of the matter. They are not insanely important to the overall vibe of this piece, and the very start of the intro is much more iconic, so we'll just keep the low bass and the chords moving in parallels. The intro ends with a short counterpoint section, so we want to keep both the melody as well as the descending bass line. That's not too bad. In contrast, the main section starts off with some rather slow chords. This is where the guitar really shines. We let the first slow chord ring out as we move to a higher register for the rest. This way we use the whole range of the guitar and get a full, well-rounded sound. In between, we have a short line from the bass section, which is important to keep as it fills the gap and helps us transition into the repetition of this part as well as the next part. We'll just play it in a lower register too. The next section is a bit busier, so we'll have to compromise. The melodic lines here move in parallels, so we don't need to include all of them. However, playing just one melody would not do this part justice. Luckily, the bass section plays mostly only one note, which coincidentally is our lowest note on the 6th string. Good thing we tuned down earlier. By simply playing this note on every quarter note, we get a fuller sound, rhythmic stability, and stay fairly close to the original. Good stuff. Sadly, the melody is pretty challenging to play, but we can't really exclude any notes to make it easier. It's a constant, relentless stream of 16th notes that would fall apart completely if we took out a single piece away. You can imagine it as a long line of dominoes. If you remove even a single piece anywhere, the chain reaction stops. This is very similar, so this section is basically finished. Now for the calmer part. The main component here is the melody, and since this part is meant to be a bit less dense, we can easily just play one low bass that rings along and focus entirely on the line above. After a few bars, another melody is introduced underneath. Counterpoint, as I said, so we gotta keep this one. This is probably my favorite section of the difficult OST, but the name is the game here, as playing this just like it sounds in the original is extremely difficult on one single guitar, so we need to simplify something. As most of us are used to listen to the melody first, I think it is justifiable to focus on making the lower voice a little bit easier. We'll take away a few notes at specific points where they are not insanely crucial to the overall sound and where the fingerings might be too challenging for our liking. I gotta say I'm pretty satisfied. We can play this for sure. At the final round of this section, the sound becomes a lot denser, so we'll go back to our principle of keeping the melody while playing the bass on each quarter note. This sounds pretty close to the original and is also very playable. The outro is mostly the second section with the big chords again, but this time we'll also follow the original in playing the low notes on each quarter beat. This is a nice little trick to repeat the same part but make it more intense and really emphasize the climax of this composition. The final bars consist of a nice little counterpoint moving downwards into the final chord. Again, by keeping the main melody intact and removing some of the lower notes, we can keep this fairly easy while retaining the original idea. And there we have it. The final version is not the easiest in the world, but more than playable if you have a decent amount of experience on the guitar. If you want to see me play this and read along with some tabs, make sure to check out our playthrough video. If you want to see more arrangements as well as explanations like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to stay notified. Thank you for watching, I'll see you soon.